Welcome everybody to the General Geology online class for the summer 2010 academic year, or academic trimester I should say. This is Dr. Hickey giving you a brief intro to the nature of the way that in this case, the lecture course is set up. For those of you who have registered for this course, I believe many, if not all, are taking both the lab and lecture, so nobody's, I don't think, making up one half of the class that they missed from not succeeding in it live or whatever the case may have been earlier. Hopefully you've all been at Northwest and you've at least had some exposure to eCompanion and eCourse sites. This is the new format for eCompanion sites, eCourse sites, through the online portal that's available at Northwest Missouri State University. When you log on to your account at Northwest Online and then you click on the lecture course in this case, this is the page that will open up to you. And I wanted to give you a brief introduction to know how where things are located, the parts of this thing that I'm actually using in this course, how I refer to them, so you'll know where to go look for things if you ask questions or I send out an email about something, or where to expect to find things. And I'm actually going to do this in a few different parts. This first video will be several minutes long. We'll cover the basics of how this thing is laid out. Then I'll go into a couple of specific smaller videos that'll target specific areas in particular. Okay, but let's get right into things. This is the opening page. On the left-hand side, the list of the exercises, the various chapters that we'll be covering in the text. That's given in here in what I refer to as the table of contents, TOC area. Okay. You might notice that here, unlike you'll just have the course tab available. Since I am an instructor, I have the author tab as well. You won't see that, but other than that, it'll look generally the same, I hope. So the TOC, or table of contents, is over on the left. This is where all the subject matter is contained, as well as some information about the course home, and I'll come back to that in a moment. Up here are the tabs at the top of the area, and the ones that you'll be particularly in need to be familiar with: the gradebook tab, email. If you wanted to send an email through the eCourse site, you can do so directly from your email system at Northwest as well. In the document sharing area, the areas that I use is this part of the course. As we come down to the content area, down here in the course, with the course home tab over here actually activated, you'll see that there's an announcement section, and there is a first announcement here that you'll want to check out. And that's one of the things I'm actually going to make a video about, a follow-up video that'll come after this one, just to detail what's going on there in another site that you'll probably want to get familiar with as well. When you have the course home area lit, and if you scroll down the tab, it gives you kind of a general overview of the course, nice little image of the the intersection for the four spheres of the Earth system. Kind of gives you some things to think about, this relative to the Boxing Day tsunami of 2004, which you may recall over in Indonesia. That whole region was substantially impacted by a tectonic event. And we've had several of those this year, and we'll visit something about that here a little bit later. At the bottom of this page, it gives you, kind of an overview, bullet points of the order of the different subjects we'll be covering in the chapters that are associated with those areas. And then some things that I think are fairly new on this new configuration for the Northwest Online portal. It gives you, well, I think it did this before previously as well. It shows you what's changed on the site, where I go in and add things, so forth and so on. Most importantly, you have something down here called the course checklist. And if this was present in the previous version, I never paid any attention to it, but I noticed this today. If you click on the course checklist, it opens up a view, hopefully. Here we go. And as it does so, it basically gives you the course checklist by unit. More importantly, it gives it by due date. So if you want to know when everything's due for this course, here's a quick way to access that. The due dates for all the different units, the quizzes, the exams, the threaded discussions, which are the 3 ways you'll be graded in this course, and then other items of interest that are out there as well, and things you want to keep aware of. So you can check out that and see what's going on with that later. Okay, coming over to the course home. Now, right now I have this compressed, but if I click on the course home, it should open that up. Here, it includes a copy of the syllabus. So if you click on the syllabus tab over in the content area, it opens up a version of the syllabus. It'll go in there, give you an overview of the course and what's expected of you, give you the course schedule when things open and close. But as I mentioned, I think in the email I sent out last week, even though this gives a range of dates when these things are theoretically active, they're all active on May 10th, and they will be for the rest of the semester. What those date ranges are actually showing you is, the time frame that most people will actually be addressing those things as they're working through the course. The key date there is the closing date. That's real. After that date comes, such as this threaded discussion here on May 31st, June 1st, you can no longer access that. So those are the dates you really want to worry about. Everything's open on day one, but it does close on the ending date, the due date for each one of these events. Okay, so there's the schedule. And down the bottom, there's an online student agreement which you need to sign and get back to me. I'll actually send you out a separate email with this contained within it. If you're in both the lecture and lab, you can just put on the bottom, I agree to this in both the lecture and lab, and only send that back once. If for some reason you're only in the lecture or only in the lab section, then you'd have to designate that when you do that. But like I said, I'll send you an email containing that. You'll just acknowledge the fact that you've read it, you agree to the terms, and you're ready to move forward with the course. That's kind of a formality. And it's not. We want you to be perfectly aware of what you're expected to do in this class, because this isn't a case where you go to class every day and you hear the lecture and you go back and you maybe read the book. I'm going to be giving you some ancillary information from time to time, maybe a few short videos that'll talk about the subject in each one of these areas, but most of the material you're going to be learning is going to be coming from the text. You're going to have to read the text in this course in order to succeed. So that's one of the key important points. The other thing is, this is a full semester course. Full semesters are normally 14 weeks long, with the 15th week being the finals week. Well, we're all doing this in 8 weeks, so you've got just as much information basically put in a smaller time frame, so things have to happen more quickly. And again, something else you want to keep in mind. All right. So that's the syllabus. Start here is basically the email I sent out to you last week, so you can just kind of review that again if you want. Again, getting back to the important points of what's expected of you. Anything relative to readings, I'll put in here, just kind of an overview of what's expected. Here's where I've actually, the X10 schedule, I've actually extracted the schedule part and just put it in this tab so you can get to that. Another way you can get to that more specifically. And this video that I'm making now will actually be replacing this video, which is the one from last year. But that was when the course had a whole different look, so I couldn't use it again. But you'll go to that and you'll actually be able to watch this video as well as smaller videos as well a little later on. Okay, so this video is now 8 minutes long. I want to put these on YouTube, so I'm going to halt this here. Again, you can go back and listen to the video. That's one of the beauties of these things. That's kind of a general introduction into the way things are looked out. I'll be making some other ones relative to some specific things, like what's contained in here in the actual chapter areas, what's found in doc sharing. If we go back to course home, to the original area, what's this thing all about? What's that's important? What's that other side I referred to? I'm going to be making another couple of videos that'll address those issues specifically, again, to put them on YouTube and so you can have that information available. Be back in a little bit.